Again, one of the mercies of God, and it's a reflection of the beauty of that early community. The bar is quite low. Anyone who truly believes will be in aman. They will be in security. God will protect them, and they will be allowed to grow. And they are always awliya, friends of God, as long as they believe. And they will be qiddisin. They will grow to that someday, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala, but they don't begin there. But nevertheless, you can't call yourself a wali. We are the awliya of Allah. That would be, again, to invert that reality. It wouldn't be true. So what do you call these people? And that's why they say, again, they were people with no name. They were people that had a reality that had no name. They lived it. They loved it. They transmitted it. They spread the religion. And we'll talk about that perhaps a little bit tomorrow. Who are the people who spread this religion throughout the world? The Sufi is always the son of his time, or the daughter of his time. One of the great awliya of North Africa, Ibn Ulaywa, Ibn Alawi, he says, don't expect the wali of the 19th century to speak the words of the 20th century. And don't expect the wali of the 20th century to speak the words of the 20th century, 21st. They speak to their time, but they do speak to their time, and they do that very effectively. And there's so many stories, we don't want to take up time. Again, Jalaluddin, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi is one of the epitomes of that. Because, to know him, you must know his time. And you must know that he spoke to his time. He spoke to his people. And he came just before one of the greatest disasters that would ever occur in Islam, which was the Mongol invasion. And he prepares people to continue this faith and to spread this faith, for the centuries that come after that. So he belongs to his time. And the more that we know about his time, the more that we understand about him. The Sufi always speaks about his time. One of the amazing things that intrigued me was, how did Islam spread to Indonesia, especially to the island of Java, the beautiful island of Java. And in Java you had a really amazing Hindu-Buddhist rice culture, and very worth studying, by the way. Very amazing. And so who are the people who bring that beautiful message to Java? Well, they are the Wali Sangho, the 9 saints, the 9 awliya. And one of them, whom I happen to love very much, his name is Kali Jaga, which means protector of the rivers. Why he's called that, I don't know. But he was actually an aristocrat. He was a Javanese aristocrat. And in his time, Islam was beginning to spread in Java, and he didn't like that. And he, in fact, attempted to kill one of the Wali Sangho, one of the 9 great saints. And he met him in the forest, and he was going to kill him. He was dressed as a robber. He wasn't a robber. And that saint said to him, "What is it that you want? Would you like gold?" And he said, "Yes, I'd like gold. I'm a robber." He said, "But then look around you and take as much as you want." And he said the whole forest became gold. And then Kali Jaga, he took the hand of the Shaykh. And the Shaykh then left him in a state of isolation for many years. And then Kali Jaga finally is given permission to go forth. And he wears green. And again, he's an aristocrat, Javanese aristocrat, but he goes to the rice peasants and he teaches them new ways to farm. He will go in the rice paddies and farm with them. And he did other things. They loved him. And then he has to teach them Islam. And so how does he do that? Puppet shows. So Kali Jaga develops the Javanese puppet. And in the beginning, he uses the typical Malay puppet. And if you go to Malaysia, you can still see these puppets. There was another one of the Wali Sango, whose name is Sunangiri. And he told Kali Jaga that, you need to learn your religion a little bit more. You can't use these puppets. These puppets are not perfectly halal. And so Kali Jaga says, well, let me think about that. So then he creates the Javanese puppet. And if you have seen Javanese puppets, they have very thin necks and very long arms, and they're very strange in their shape. And he said, do you think this could ever live? No. So he said, we'll use these puppets. So he used the Javanese puppets. And then he takes the gamelan music, which is distinctively Indonesian Javanese music. When you hear it the first time, you may not like it very much because it has a whole different sound pattern than what we in the West are used to. But he redefines gamelan music. He redefines everything. Colors, white, blue, green, red, numbers, 2. There would be a temple, and in front of the temple would be generally 2 banyan trees, which are associated with the Buddha, right? And so he said, whenever you see these 2 trees, 1, 2, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. He redefines everything. He takes interpretive control. And then he is one of the people at the center of that miracle of bringing these beautiful people of Java into Islam and making them love it and making it this force that transforms them. So this will be the story of the Sufis. You can see it in Central Asia, among the Turkic tribes, the Mongol tribes. You see it, of course, in the Ottoman Empire. You see it in Jalaluddin, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. These are the people who are the heirs of the prophets. These are the people who represent that beauty, which is faith in God and faith in the prophets. But again, they can't call themselves the heirs of the Prophet. They can't call themselves the awliya. They can't call themselves the mukhlisin, the sincere ones, or the sadiqeen. They can't call themselves the muhsinin. So what do they call themselves? And I don't think that was necessarily a big problem for them, because they're quite glad not to be called anything but just a servant of God, hopefully. But in any case, one of the things about the word Sufi as it develops is that it becomes really just about the best word you could have.